Hey, Shalom, welcome. This is Karma Kapash from GMS London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chachwadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in all sincerity. Back here with another video. But I'm sure in title this one, these Edomites are losing their minds, man. Okay, their spirit's getting riled up, right? Their bloodlust is rising, right? They're just losing their shit right now. They're doing some mad stuff recently, right? So, here in the UK, we had a football celebration up in Liverpool, and some Edomite, just decides to, roll up on the parade in a car, just mow down some people. All right. Of course, they're not treating it as terrorism, because if it was anybody else, if it wasn't an Edomite, it would be terrorism. But yeah, apparently it's different from other dudes, isn't it? But whatever. But yeah, this guy, he's obviously, it's the sentiment of the world, right? These people are sick and tired of this place, right? Esau is upset. He feels persecuted, right? Because his life isn't what it used to be for him. He's losing his kingdom, and they know it. In the spirit, they know it, man, and they're getting riled up in the spirit. They're getting vexed, man. They're losing their shit, right? All this chaos and confusion that's been, produced in this world right now is causing resentment, man, and anger, frustration. And Esau, like I said, he feels like he's losing his kingdom right now, and so he's doing some mad shit, and that's gonna, like I said, that's gonna increase. That's gonna increase, man. Right, as his kingdom is being taken away from him, right? And let me open up with this, right? This is Revelation 12, verse 12. So therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time, right? And really, this is really speaking about these elites and what they're about to do on the earth, man. But even these peon Edomites, man, they know in the spirit, they know they have a bit short time left, and they feel like under threat. They're always talking about, oh, these immigrants are gonna, they're taking our jobs, taking our land, taking our culture away from us, and they they feel like the writing's on the wall for them, and they need to rise up and do something. That's why all these far right groups and that they're becoming more and more popular. These political groups and whatever. All right, they're becoming more popular, man, because these might feel like they're losing. They're sick and tired of being called racist, and that they were slave owners. They're just tired of it, right? They're tired of it. You know, they don't want to be accused of any wrongdoing, right? They're the ones that are being wronged, right? It's everybody else's fault, right? None of theirs. It's never theirs, right? And so yeah, they're just mad right now, right? And so you're gonna see more of these types of things, man. So you just he didn't give a fuck. Like, I don't know, like, it's a big crowd. It could be everybody's there, right? Every race, right? Liverpool, I mean, just football fans. You know what I mean? They got every type of race there. He just didn't give no fucks though, man. He just lost his mind. Edomites are just losing their mind, right, and doing some mad shit, right? So yeah, from the Daily Mail here, 47 hurt, including 4 children, by driver who smashed into Liverpool parade after leaving a bar. Right, he's like, fuck this shit. I mean, he's actually full of the spirit. He's like, fuck this, had enough. I'm fed up. I don't recognize this country no more. These men are just through, man. They're through. All right. So the witness has claimed that the driver who ploughed into crowds and injured 47 at Liverpool's Premier League victory parade had just left a nearby bar moments before. Right. A total of 27 people have been taken to hospital following the horrific incident, with 4 seriously injured, including a child who was one of 4 people still trapped under the car when firefighters arrived. He still didn't give a shit, man. He was like, "No, bad enough. I'm going out, man." Right. The other casualties were treated at the scene. I'm not going to read all of this. It's pretty standard, but I just want to show you this Esau, man. Esau is losing his mind. So the authorities have confirmed that the incident is not being treated as terrorism, and that the man in custody, a white British male from Liverpool, is believed to have been the driver of the vehicle. right? Because they released the details quick this time, man. Because after that after that other issue, that other incident up in that region of the world, in the UK, when it came out to be one of these, where the fuck was he from? He wasn't white, let's put it that way, right? He was one of those ethnics, right? So then man started riot. Then then Edomites started riots and shit, over that shit, man. Because all these immigrants are doing this and that, and murdering children and all that kind of stuff. But he was actual a citizen, actual UK citizen. But obviously, that was the fuel for the fire that was causing all those riots not too long ago. So yeah, they released the details quick about this dude, man. So to stop all that, the fire from rising. But yeah, these Edomites are losing it, man. You know. Um, so they're asking the wrong questions. A key question is how a car managed to get near a parade involving up to 1 million people, given previous incidents of vehicles being driven into crowds. Right, so now it's a security issue. They're making this into a security issue, right? No, you need to be asking what's wrong with the Edomites. They're bugging out, man. The Edomites are bugging out. Why are you bugging out? Why you do what you did? You know, as in the spirit, they're just messed up, man. They know it's over. Okay, we know it's over. Okay, the world is looking at these Edomites like, yeah, it's over for you. you know, in America, everywhere. Like, yeah, you're losing grip of shit, right? And these some of these Edomites are just down bad. If we had a bad day, his wife was talking shit. He's in the bar just drinking his sorrows away, man. Just blaming the world for everything. You better look to your forefathers, man. Your foredaddies, and blame them. Yeah. So apparently that's the key question. It's just a security issue, right? So we need to ramp up security. Convenient, right? Yeah, just some of the scenes here. Yeah, man, I was just powering through, man. Right? Yeah, it's big chaos. Anyway, like I said, we have a bit of short time, man. So he's just, he's wilding out right now. Pardon me. All right, but all that anger, all that animosity that Esau holds, because it's a natural anger and animosity that's been raised back up inside him, man. Because he really does hate you, Jake, ultimately. Right? He hates immigrants and that, yeah, we know. But he hates you, Jake, more than anybody, right? And all this anger and, this ventilation that he's going to be doing, it's going to be aimed at a lot of you, Jake, man. All right? Like I said, you're the threat. Only we're the threat. In his spirit, he knows we're the threat. Because his kingdom is about to come to an end, man. And the scriptures say Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. In the spirit, they know. They can feel it. Right? And so this frustration that they're feeling, they're turning it towards you, Jake, man. So I'll read this in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, verse 1 says, Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the such as have afflicted him, right? Because at the end of the day, the truth is, okay, we've been on the receiving end of a beating from you. Right? It's not the other way around. Okay, you're not the persecuted. we're the persecuted. You're the ones that have persecuted us and oppressed us. Right? But now it's our fault. It's everybody else's fault. And so you're gonna vent out on Jake and on these other nations, But it's you. You're the one being going around the world oppressing people. You're the racist one. You're the hateful one. The people full of hate and shit. So yeah, we stand. Beginning with the elders and apostles, the prophets, the men of the Lord out there on highways and hedges. Can we stand in great boldness, man, face to face with you, to tell you, man, that you're full of shit. Okay, and that you're wicked, and everything that you've done, man, you're going to be judged according to it. Right? says, then the righteous man shall stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him and have made no account of his labors. Right? You don't rate us, even though we built your fucking kingdom up. You know, motherfuckers working hard. Yeah, we got criminal elements. Obviously, just like you got criminal. You know, all these nations got fucking criminal elements, man. You know, but obviously you make it out that Jake is just the worst thing on the planet. But here it is, you're destroying nations. You know, and stealing resources from everybody. Right. So yeah, you make no account of our labors, right? It says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, for so far beyond all that they look for. And they repentant and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. And these men are getting bold now because man like Trump are in power. You know, and they're not that white guilt. They're not feeling, they're feeling less guilty. You know, they don't want to feel that white guilt, man. They want to be proud of who they are, what they've done, and unashamedly. You know, so they're feeling bold now, and right, they're chatting their shit. You know, but it's going to dawn on them when the Lord comes and bring judgment on this earth, man. It's going to dawn, man. Look, and we've been delivered. It's going to occur to them like shit. Like we fucked up, man. This whole time we were just, we was wrong. We was wrong. We were the wicked ones. They're going to realize that, right? It says, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we are sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools, you're going to recognize that you're a bunch of idiots, man. We fools are counting his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God and his lot among the saints? Because you think it was you. Man called yourself white and everything to represent purity and righteousness, but no, you're the darkest, the blackest of them all, man. You're the most wicked and evil of all nations, man. But you go around praying about like you're the righteous ones. God's people. Bollocks, man. That's what I say. It's bollocks. You're full of shit. Right, you man are the source of so much evil and pain in the earth, man. It's unreal. So yeah. So you fools. We fools account his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God and his lot among the saints? Therefore we have erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us. You didn't know the way. You was never righteous. Okay? Have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness. So that's what you're going to understand. You've done nothing but wickedness on the earth, man. There's nothing righteous about you, man. Right? You think the animosity that you're building up right now, you think it's righteous, man, because you feel like these other nations and Jake is at war with you, taking your land and all that kind of shit, taking your jobs. You think it's righteous what you're doing. You feel hard done by and persecuted. It's not that way around, man. It ain't that way at all, man. Just that Esau's abandoned you, man. Your elites have abandoned you. That's why you feel like that. Because they don't give a shit about you either. It says, we weary ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where they lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. What have pride profited us, or what good have riches without vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow and as a post that hasted by. All right. And so you've done a whole lot of evil, man, but you don't want to take account for all that you've done. Okay, you don't want to admit like everything that's happening is because of your own wickedness. But in the spirit of Cain, it's everybody else's fault. In Zechariah chapter 11 verse 5, so whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty? Right? You'll think you're justified in what you've done to us. And what you do to us and what you're going to do to us. You're going to feel justified. Okay? So they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pitied them not. Right? So you don't want to be guilty, right? Because these things are being brought back up in your face. All the heinous crimes that you've done to our people. The Israelites, the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, like, it's all been brought back up. Right? But you don't want to feel shame for that. Why should I feel guilty? Oh, we brought benefits to the world. We gave them trains and all this fucking stupidness. Okay, like it didn't benefit you more. than everybody else anyway. You know, you think the bloodshed that you shed, justifies, uh, all these things that you brought to the world justifies all the bloodshed you did, and it fucking don't. Not even like no, and that's just that demented Edomite spirit that's in you, man. The unrighteous spirit that's in you. You know that you actually think that actually makes sense. You know that all the bloodshed, everything you've done in the world justifies the bloodshed that you did. Come on, man, that's madness, right? But yeah, you're our possessors, man. We're in your hands. Okay, we serve your nation, your people, right? Not the other way around. This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 9. It says that spirit came, man. He don't want to be guilty for shit. He don't think he's in the wrong. Let's see. Let me read from verse 3 here, right? It says, and in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, right? Because Cain don't like to follow instructions, right? He doesn't have an affinity with righteousness or following or being obedient. That's not his affinity, man. He doesn't do that, right? He does what he wants to do, right? But Cain gets reprimanded for it, and it's everybody else's fault. I mean, it's you that you don't want to listen. You're rebellious, right? So, but unto Cain, unto his offering, he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth. He got angry, and his countenance fell. Like he did wrong, but he got angry. It's the same thing. You Edomites have done wrong, but now you're angry because shit ain't going your way. But bro, like, you need to pay. You need, bro. And the Lord said unto Cain, "Why art thou wroth?" It's like, why are you mad? This was always going to be your end. Like this kingdom was always going to fall. It's going to fail. You Edomites are going to, this is what was always going to happen. Because the Lord said, "Woe to them that establish a city with blood." You think you was going to get away with all the suffering that you caused, but you want to turn around and blame everybody else for things that are happening. It says, "Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be desire, and thou shalt rule over him." And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass where they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Right? So he had extreme hate, jealousy, envy in him, man. Same way the Edomites do right now. They've got the world, right? But they still follow this hatred, man, this envy and jealousy, because they're just not right. And the Lord said unto Cain, "Where is Abel thy brother?" And he said, "I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?" Like, what's that got to do with me? Like, like he doesn't want to be involved at all. He doesn't take no responsibility, nothing, right? And this is what these Edomites do. They don't want to take no responsibility of the things that they've done, right? But they're just going to turn around and blame everybody else. Everybody else is the problem, and it's just simply not true, right? You devils need to pay, and you're going to pay. There's Revelation chapter 11. And let's see. I don't want to read up from here. Revelation chapter 11 verse 3. So, "And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the God of the earth, Yahweh, right? And if any man hurt them, fire proceeded out of their mouth and devoured their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceeded out of their mouth and devoured their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over the waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And when they shall finish their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great sea, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord crucified. And they of the people and kindreds of tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put on graves. Right? They that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall sing gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell in the earth. Right? And this represents, the tribes, basically the prophets that, of the two kingdoms, the north and southern kingdom, right? And it's us, here today, basically preaching against them. Okay, we've tormented these people with the words of the Heavenly Father and His Son. And so this hatred is only building because, like I said, we stand, Wisdom Psalm 5:1, we stand boldly in their face to tell them this, right? Unapologetically, man, that these men are going to pay for all the wickedness that they've done, right? And they hate to hear us, man. They hate to hear us. They get vexed and angry. They want to do things, they'll threaten us, but the time's going to come where, they're going to be let off the chain, so to speak. Okay, when all this, when the chaos ensues, man, there's not going to be no real law and order. So these men are just going to go, they're getting ready for it. They're getting ready for race wars and all kinds of things, man. They're getting ready to kill the prophets. Because they're fed up with us, man. Because like I said, Esau, his spirit's getting riled up, man. That bloodlust is bubbling. Because he knows he have but a short time. He's frustrated. He don't want us around no more. To him, we are tainting his country, because he believes it's his country, right? We're tainting his kingdom. He wants us out, right? And so these men are, like I said, they're gonna use force and violence to do that, right? They're sick and tired of seeing us and hearing us, man. Okay. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 70, right? So, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, right? They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, right? They're going to come after us, man. They've been waiting. They're waiting for it, okay? Especially the men in America. Like, they're sick and tired of seeing us, man, and hearing us preach against them and their kingdom. Right? They can't wait to, get the guns off the shelf and come out hunting season style, purge style. All right. It says, so for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire, right? So that's going to be a testing time for brothers out there, when all this chaos, hits the streets, lawlessness ensues, anarchy, right? It's gonna be a trying time. It's gonna be a tense time, man. Because you have people that, right now, they're very they want to do things, they want to harm us, but there's restraint because there's laws in effect. They don't want to get into trouble, right? But when that law is lifted, or martial law, or whatever, certain things are not going to be monitored or cared about, right? Because I say even these governments, man, they're not going to give a shit. They're gonna be nabbing up brothers and trying to kill us too. So, when that time comes, these Edomites gonna feel like free reign to do what the fuck they want to do, right? And so they will come after us, man. Okay, they hate us, man. No joke, they do hate us, man, because it's a spiritual thing, man. There's just that natural enmity between us, man, because that's what was set up between Jacob and Esau. You know? So verse 74, Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. Right? They're coming, right? But I will deliver you from the same. Be not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your guide, Yahweh. All right. Just one more, we'll close out on this. Matthew 24 and verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Right? There's going to be all kinds of fighting going on. Okay, between nations and between peoples in these nations. Right? Because it's full with all these different people, these different races of people, different, ethnics and backgrounds, ideologies, religions, all kinds of things. Right? So there's going to be a lot of fighting inside these nations, man. Right? For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, right? So when push comes to shove, man, and resources are scarce, there's famines going on and illnesses or whatever, people that are fed up and tired of these these other races or whatever, right? They're just gonna roll that and take from you and storm your house and kill you, whatever, man, whatever they need to do, whatever they feel like doing as well, to be fair, right? Just to get what they need, right? They're not gonna have no feelings towards you, no compassion towards you, man, because they hate you anyway. So when it comes to that point in time, they're not gonna feel bad about rolling into your house and doing you and your family in. It's like fuck these immigrants or whatever. They're gonna be in that type of spirit, man. They're not gonna give a shit. Right? That's how they're gonna be moving, man. And like I say, you got Edomites that are losing their shit right now. He doesn't even feel a way to mow down his own people. So you best believe that in that time, as the scriptures say, the hearts of many shall wax cold, man. They're not gonna care. There's gonna be a cold spirit on these people, man. And like I said, that animosity and hatred that's been boiling, man, they're just gonna do it, man. You think it's beyond these people just to turn around and start killing each other? Nah, right? Okay, it's gonna happen, man. Right? It says, so all these are the beginning of sorrows. And then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. Right? That's the insurrection. They're gonna come against us, right? And you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And like I said, they're sick and tired of seeing us, man, and hearing us. Because we got nothing good to preach to them, man. Because all these nations go into slavery. All their kingdoms are going to be destroyed. Right? All their ways of life is going to be destroyed. Okay, there's nothing for them, right, other than servitude. Okay. So yeah, they hate us, man. Right? So then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Right? That's the spirit the world's coming into. It's already selfish, and full of folly. Right? And like I said, when things get harder, people's frustrations, build up. And so that anger, frustration turns into hatred. Master Yoda told us this. I can't remember what order it goes into. But yeah, he broke it down. Hatred leads to suffering. Yeah, people are gonna fucking suffer, man. Was it anger leads to hate leads to suffering. Yeah, man. And that's the process this world's going through right now. All right. So again, so then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, because this place is full of wickedness, man. These people ain't got no fucking morals, really. And you're gonna see it. We're gonna find out, man. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All this love talk, man, you're gonna find that it don't exist, really. It don't exist in this world, man. This world is really full of hate. Okay, whether you believe yourself to be a Christian or not, all this love talk is full of shit. You're hypocrites, man. You've always been hypocritical. That's why all this love talk, man. And you go around not even half the world, the whole world, destroying people, and stealing their land in the name of Christianity. How is that love? You make it make sense. That's just some hypocritical doctrine that you push in the world to make you seem like some fucking do-gooders, man. But you ain't no do-gooders. You're evil doers. That's what you've been doing this whole fucking time. So that the reality is just gonna appear in that time. You ain't on no love talk, man. All right. So verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right. So this is all about enduring with the correct doctrine until the very end, despite all the adversities and the obstacles that we're gonna face. All right. So this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and this is why it's being done. That's why brothers over here in the UK, different parts of Europe, beginning of America, of course, but the word is spread, so everybody can hear it. And no one can say they didn't hear it, and these people just choose not to believe it. That's fine, right? But you can't say you didn't hear, so it's a witness unto all nations, right? So and then the end shall come. Right, and the end is surely arriving. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there anyway. Lord has been edifying. Like I said, he don't want us losing this shit. So that's all good, isn't it? But yeah, expect more of it to happen. All right. So again, hope this is edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters in the next video. Until next time, I say shalom.